Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 747th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Just to say, this is an absolute cracking, close 40k no rules battle. And when I say a cracking battle, I really mean that. And it's going to go right down to the wire as well. This is fought on the Nordic woodland map. Okay, our first teammate is Greek clansman Kleomenis. Now, Kleomenis has got 12 pikes, 6 cavalry, and 2 chariots. Just to say, the Greek clan's mission on Rome Total War was to be the best clan with the pike and spear factions. And to this end, they used to practice for hours and hours and hours. We used to see them going into battle, coming back out, having a little talk with each other, then back into battle again, then back out again, then back in again. And to be honest with you, I think most people would agree that the Greek clan was the best clan with the pike and spear faction. And I'm going back here now to when there were hundreds of players in the lobby, in the multiplayer lobby. That's how good the Greek clan became with the pike and spear factions. Whenever the Brotherhood fought them, it was always a big battle there, and it was always an exciting battle. It's a shame we haven't got any of those battles saved, or I'd like to have shown you a few of those. Okay, if you look at the upgrades on Kleomenis' pikes, you'll see 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and just look at the length of those pikes that the enemy troops have got to fight down to kill the man on the other end. So that's a real tall order, especially for Roman troops there. Okay, so that's pretty good pikes there. Then he's got his chariots. Now remember, these chariots have got a big attacking specification and a big fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops, making them more likely to rout. Okay, but they really are a double-edged sword, because if they run amok, they kill both friend and foe alike, and they become a menace to both friend and foe alike. And strangely enough, they seem to be stronger in amok mode than they are in normal mode. Remember, when they go into amok mode, they go out of the control of their general, and as I say, they just kill anything by them, friend or foe alike. So they are a very double-edged sword, and you need to think before you bring them, I think. And then we have a look at his cataphracts. He's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience strikes, gold shield, gold attack on his cataphracts. We call these guys the tanks of the ancient world because they're armoured from head to toe, and used properly, they can be battle-winning troops there. So there's Kleomenis, is tried and tested Seleucid army. Don't forget, this is a 40k no-rules battle. Okay, our next teammate here is a Greek member called Iraklis. Now, veterans watching this, can you remember Iraklis? Maybe, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago. As I say, when there was hundreds of players in the lobby, a lot of players rated Iraklis as in the top 10 players of Rome Total War. If you notice here, he's got mixed upgrades. Some of his infantry have got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Other infantry are just gold shield, gold attack there. Quick look at his cavalry, and he's got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. He hasn't played Rome Total War for many years, and I saw him on Steam, and I asked him if he'd like to come in and have a couple of games with us, and to my surprise he did. He wanted to come and have a game with us here. And don't forget, as I say, he was, I think, rated by a lot of players as in the top 10 players of Rome Total War when there were hundreds in the lobby, but he hasn't played for many years now. So as I say, this is the first game that he's played for many years, and I felt a bit guilty actually during the course of the battle and inviting him into this battle, because we're up against really good players, and he's under a lot of stress in this battle, as you will see. And as I say, he hasn't played for many years, so it was kind of like throwing him in the deep end, if you see what I mean. You'll see what happens during the course of the battle here, but as I say, it was nice to see Iraklis back on Rome Total War, and I say a lot of veterans watching this will remember him, and as I say, very good player. But as I say, I did feel a little bit guilty inviting him into this battle, as you will see a bit later on, because he is put under a lot of pressure. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius. Now, Aurelius has got 3 chariot archers, 5 heavy chariots, 3 light cavalry, 4 head hurlers, 3 chosen swordsmen, and 2 druids. So he's got a very diverse 40k Britannia army there. There's his fully upgraded chosen swordsmen. Remember, they got the same morale as urban cohorts. Excellent morale. And you'd be surprised on how tough this infantry can be when it's fully upgraded. And what I'd like to see is a nice balanced Britannia army, which is what this is, I think, really. And there you are, he's got his druids. Now remember, barbarian morale is pretty low, so to bring a unit that boosts morale is always a good tactical move, and that's exactly what these druids do. When they start chanting, they give morale to nearby troops there. So well worth bringing. There's the infamous head hurlers there. Remember, those heads are effective against armour. A modern Britannia army, you'll see 14 head hurlers and 6 maximum upgraded chariots. But remember that these guys, you can see they've got heads on their belts. Remember, if they throw all their heads and they haven't turned the battle in their team's favour, then all you've got is light infantry. Okay, so that's why I much prefer an old-fashioned, old-school, balanced Britannia army rather than a modern one where they bring 14 head hurlers and 6 chariots. Make no mistake, mind, these head hurlers can be devastating, but as I say, if they run out of heads, they're just light infantry. So there you are, you can see here, this is a unit you don't see very often on the 40k battlefield there. Barbarian mercenary cavalry. You don't see that very often, but there they are. They're fast moving, you can take them around the battlefield, attacking archers, enemy archers, maybe getting into behind the rear of engaged, tired enemy infantry. And there you are, he's got his warlord. Remember that Britannia's got 2 lots of chariots, the heavy chariots and the barbarian warlord chariots. The heavy chariots have just got 3 hit points. These guys have got 5 hit points, and believe me, those 5 hit points really do make a difference. So if you ever bring Britannia, I would suggest you bring the barbarian warlord chariots, and then he's got the chariot archers there. You'll see archer in that chariot, and they can be very effective, fast moving, can form Canterbury and circle, so they're pretty good as well. Of course, most of his army are hiding in the woods. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander. I've got 12 Spartans, 3 artillery, 4 archers, and 1 fast-moving cavalry unit there. So that's my, that's kind of my bog standard 40k Greek cities army there. I'm the only one in our team to bring artillery. In fact, I think in the whole game, I'm the only one to bring artillery. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this cracking close battle. And here is the other team. You'll see that RTW player Luke has called himself Invictus. Those of you that are not familiar with Latin names might like to know that Invictus means unbeatable or unbeaten. So RTW player Luke feels that he's unbeatable and that he's unbeaten there. Now Luke has got 12 cavalry and 8 archers, a very unusual 40k no rules battle army. But this is what we're trying to encourage with new ideas and new thoughts, you know, thinking outside the 31k box that we've been playing for over 14 years. So as I say, he's got 12 fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry, which equates to, get ready for this, a massive 17 attack and a huge 28 defense. You'll see his archers here have got 7 upgrades on, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Remember, these archers are long range and are elite archers anyway, so you put those upgrades on them and that makes them even better. Let's say here, if you count the upgrades, you'll see 9 upgrades, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And as I say, that gives them a massive 17 attack and a huge 28 defense. And as I say, got 12 of them, 12 fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry and 8 archers. And it's just great to see new armies evolving on our 40k no rules battlefield there. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does with that. But I think calling yourself Invictus, unbeaten and unbeatable, is unusual. Their next teammate is Socius. Now he's got 6 archers, 2 elephants, 6 camels and 6 cataphracts. And it's nice to see Parthia on our 40k no rules battles there. You'll see his archers there, I believe, have got 7 upgrades on, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. And then his camels there, if you count the upgrades of his camels, 1, 2, 3, I think he's got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his camels. Now it's unusual to bring camels on a winter battlefield. Of course, if this was a desert battlefield, those camels would get the desert bonus, which enhances all your specifications. But on a winter map, they don't get any bonus at all. So it's unusual to bring, I think, camels onto a winter battlefield there. And let's have a look at his cataphracts, and you'll see that he's got 8 upgrades on his cataphracts there, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. There's the Parthian general There you are, look, with his cataphracts there. So it's quite a diverse Parthian army there, but you'll see a lot of cavalry here. As I say, both Luke and Socius bought a lot of cavalry, and of course they've got the elephants as well. Remember these guys, these elephants have got 12 massive hit points, I think a 7 charge, and a massive fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops, destabilizing them, making them more susceptible to routing. Okay, their next teammate, if we can find him in the woods here, come out wherever you are. Oh, there he is. And that is someone who's called himself OTD Chinrizig, but is in fact Scorpion King SR. Now, Scorpion King has got 12 infantry, 6 cavalry maximum upgraded, and 2 incendiary pigs, because I think he thinks that our Seleucid ally might have bought some elephants. Okay, so let's have a quick, I think he, as I say, most of his army are hiding in the woods there. Let's say he's got 6 maximum upgraded cavalry there. Okay, and our last teammate is Brotherhood member Lando. Now, Lando's got 12 infantry, 2 archers, and 6 cavalry. Okay, 12 infantry, 2 archers, 6 cavalry. We'll have a quick look at the upgrades on his battle formation here. You'll see his forward units have just got gold shield, gold attack on. Okay, so that's his piler shield units at the front of his main battle formation. We move back into the battle formation a little bit there. His next line has got 7 upgrades on, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. And the last line of his battle formation, if you notice, has got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So kind of got staggered upgrades through his battle formation there. Now he usually brings serious cavalry. Let's have a quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry. Remember, that gives him a 17 attack and a massive 28 defense there. So there's the enemy team, and what a cracking battle this is going to be. And I really hope you enjoy it. It's going to go right down to the wire, and I really hope you like it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a cavalry count of both teams. So we know Luke has got 12 fully upgraded cavalry. Okay, so he's got 12. We know that Socius has got 12 cavalry plus 2 elephants. So he's got what? So that's 14, and Luke's 12. That's 26. Okay, so between them there, just between the two of them there, they got 26 cavalry. Then you've got Scorpion King's fully upgraded 6 cavalry as well. So that's going to take it up to, 32. So that's 32 cavalry units they've got so far. And then Lando's got 6 as well. So their total cavalry and elephant count is 38. Okay, so actually they've got 38 cavalry on their team. I mean, oh my gosh, 38 cavalry. Now let's have a count of what we've got on our team. So they've got 38, okay, heavy cavalry. Okay, so we've got 5 heavy chariots there of Aurelius. Then we got 6 cavalry of Iraklis, so that's 11. And then we've got 6 there, so that's 19. There is it, and 2 there. So we've got something like, I think we've got something like 19 cavalry against their 38 cavalry. Okay, so they've got 38, we've got 19. We've got half of what they've got there. So, oh my gosh, that could really make a difference towards the end of the battle. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how this actually pans out during the course of the battle. And as I say, they've got a big advantage there. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, you'll see that I'm walking my Greek cities army over to our right flank there. That's where we decided we're all going to form up, over on the right flank, right centre area. But of course, as I've only got artillery, I can only walk the artillery, so I'm going to keep the rest of my troops with the artillery there to try and keep them a little bit protected. But I want to show you a great bit of teamwork here. Can you see that Aurelius has got his Britannia army integrated with my army, and he said to me that he was going to escort my army across to the right flank. Notice that he's got his chariots out there as a screening force to stop the attack there, because I mean there's a Brotherhood member Lando over there may well try and intercept my army, maybe with cavalry or something like that, to try and take out my my onagers and things like that as I'm walking across there. So as I say, Lando may well have thought that, but as I say, Aurelius there, great bit of teamwork there, escorting my army across to that right flank. Remember, that's what teamwork's all about. Looking after each other, trying to help each other out. That's how teams win battles, by helping each other out. Now over here on our right flank, you'll see Greek Kleomenis with his Seleucids moving his army more central there, over to the right centre there, towards his ally Iraklis there. And you can see that Luke is bringing his well upgraded elite archers forward there, but you'll see that Kleomenis has got his Seleucid cataphracts in open order. Remember, units in open order on Rome Total War suffer less casualties from missiles, so that's why here can you see all those arrows coming in on the Seleucid cataphracts, and Kleomenis will lose absolutely minimal casualties there, will have minimal casualties there, because he's got his cavalry in open order. But as I say, you can see Luke's brought his old 8 archers forward. Now he's moving his 12 fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry forward here, and Kleomenis is doing the right thing there, moving his Seleucid cataphracts away from those fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry there. So a good tactical withdrawal there, I think, by Kleomenis. You can see Iraklis bringing his Julii cavalry over as well. Maybe they were thinking possibly about taking Luke's cavalry on, the 2 of them there, but as you can see, they've moved away from that now, as they're moving back. But whether Luke would want to take on Iraklis's Julii cavalry and the Seleucid cataphracts with his, I'm not sure whether he'd want to do that or not. There, let's just pause the game for a second here. So now remember that the Seleucid units here, the big 121 man units, are incredibly susceptible to any kind of missile damage. So make no mistake, that's why I think that these enemy troops have brought so many archers here, is because they know that the Seleucid pikemen there are very susceptible to arrow damage. So that's why they've done that, and that's why Cleo's going to have to keep his infantry away from the front line a little bit there, you know, having to keep his troops behind Iraklis' troops there, because he knows the devastation that those archers could do to his infantry there. So you can see here that Iraklis has got an eagle unit as well as an infantry general unit there, so he's got 2 lots of good morale boosting units there, on top of the good upgrades that his infantry have got. So that's a nice army build there. But as I say, Kleomenis got to keep his 121 man units out of archer range for as long as he can, because as I say, missile damage will do a lot of damage to his units there. Okay, over on our right flank there, you can see Luke's fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry there guarding his archers. He's moving his archers forward there, probably to try and target Kleomenis as cataphracts there if he can. Now if you notice there, Kleomenis has gone back into close order there, okay, and that's because he may well be expecting an attack from Luke's cavalry. He's got his chariots there as well. You can see I'm making steady progress from the left flank over towards the right flank there, walking with my artillery, and as I say, being escorted by Aurelius' Britannia army there, showing once again, as I say, great teamwork there. Remember, like we said before, teamwork's all about looking after each other, battlefield awareness, knowing where your teammates need help, and that's how you win battles, team battles there. Okay, over here you'll see that Luke actually went for Cleo's cavalry there, but say Cleo's done a good tactical withdrawal there of his cataphracts there. And here you can see that Socius is moving his units forward, his cavalry units forward there, maybe with a view to link up with Luke there and smash into the flank of Iraklis. What do you think? You think that's what they were thinking there? That the 2 of them there, Socius and Luke, teaming up with their cavalry and smashing there. You could see that the Scorpion King pin and holds Iraklis' forward units. Could you see that? Okay, and while Iraklis being pinned and held, those 2 lots of cavalry smash into his flank. That may well be the enemy team plan there, but here you can see that Socius got a little bit too close to Iraklis' infantry there, and is now chewing on Julii pilers going into his units. And that's a 54 unit cavalry unit there, reduced to 28 there. So it suffered a lot of piler damage, that one unit. And that's the problem if you get too close to Roman infantry there, and you just saw what happened. Right, as I say, you can see Socius and Luke seem to be teaming up on our right flank. Meanwhile, my troops have managed to get over to that right flank. Now, I'd just like to show you something here. You know, we talked about good teamwork. If you notice here, I've noticed that there's a massive amount of cavalry on our right flank. You can see that Cleo's moving his pikes forward there. But so what I'm doing now, I'm leaving my artillery. I'm running my guys over here as well, knowing that my artillery is going to be guarded by the Britannia chariots there and Britannia infantry looking after my artillery. So I'm going to run my troops over to that by the side of Cleo there and set my spears up there, ready to repulse any cavalry charge. Now remember that pike and spear units are automatically anti-cavalry. Okay, so as I say, you can see all the enemy cavalry on our right flank. And you can see Scorpion King here moving his SBQR army towards Iraklis' army. Plus, you've got Lando's army possibly moving in as well. So poor old Iraklis, if he's not careful, he could get hit by 2 enemy SBQR armies there. So as I say, here you can see how Kleomenis has set his pikes up there towards the enemy cavalry. And you'll see that I'm moving my battle formation, my Spartan battle formation, towards that cavalry as well. So that's what we've done. And as I say, my artillery is being guarded by my Britannia ally Aurelius there. Okay, so just to say here that with the spears and the pikes of our 2 armies, we are anti-cavalry, so they won't charge into us here. They probably didn't want to see this really, but the length of those massive pikes there, imagine cavalry charging into set pikes that are set down ready to receive a cavalry charge. And as I say, I've got my Spartan spears here as well there. So probably that was the last thing that Socius and Luke wanted to see, was a pike and a spear army facing their cavalry. That's probably what they didn't want to see there, because as I say, they won't attempt to charge into our pike and spear units there, as of course we're anti-cavalry. Now here you can see Lando starting to move his infantry forward. Now, you know, I said to you that I felt a little bit guilty inviting Iraklis into this battle because of the pressure that he's put under. You're going to see what I mean in a minute, okay? Now look at this. Can you see how he's now turning all his units into testudo? Those of you that haven't seen a unit go into testudo before, if you just watch this unit here, you'll see there, and there you go. Can you see that? That is a real Roman formation there called the testudo. And if you notice there, it's like all-round defense, if you like, from arrows, spears, any other missiles coming in on them above, you know, coming in from above or from the sides or from the front. As I say, that is a real Roman formation used back in the day, and it's called the testudo. Very, very effective, as you can see, and you can imagine how good it was in the real battles, you know, back in the day, like. Now here you'll see that Iraklis is charging some of his cavalry forward there, looking to smash into that one SBQR unit there. Can you see that one SBQR unit? Get ready for this. And bang! As he smashes in there. Routed that unit almost on impact. But now you'll see Scorpion King moving his infantry forward here. But you'll see also Iraklis moving his infantry forward in testudo towards Scorpion King's infantry there. Okay, let's pause again for a second here. Now you can see these incendiary pigs have been ignited by Scorpion King, but really, if there's no elephants about, they're pretty useless really. He thought our Seleucid ally might bring elephants, that's why he's bought the incendiary pigs, but of course Kleomenis didn't bring elephants, so he's just tried to attack our Julioid ally with incendiary pigs, and say, apart from pigs, attacking pigs, that unit's pretty, you know, to be honest, pretty useless really. So as I say, it's been ignited, but those but that unit will die pretty quick. But the main thing is here, can you see Iraklis here being very, very aggressive there, moving his units forward in testudo. So remember that even if Scorpion King was throwing missiles in to Iraklis here, because he's in testudo, he's going to suffer a lot less casualties than what he would if he was in normal formation. Do you see what I mean? So that was a nice kind of move forward there by Iraklis into the units of Scorpion King. But what's worrying me is I can see Lando's SBQR army moving in here as well. So as I say, poor old Iraklis here, he could well be attacked by 2 SBQR armies there. As I say, Lando, it looks like he's going to come around the flank of Iraklis here, while Iraklis may be pinned and held by Scorpion King's infantry there. So there's another incendiary pig unit there, as you can see. Remember what the Romans used to do? They used to cover these pigs in oil, set fire to them, and then the poor burning pigs, screeching and screaming, running across the battlefield, would upset enemy elephants. The smell of the burning pigs and the sound of the screaming pigs would upset them, and the elephants would very often run amok. It was a very successful tactic for the Romans against enemy elephants, but it was very cruel to the poor pigs there, like, you know, not very nice. So over here, as I say, you can see I've got my Spartan formation facing all that cavalry, and you've got Kleomenis, his pikes facing all that cavalry as well. We've got our Britannia ally bringing his infantry over, and he's got his chariots there, just the other side of the woods. Right, now here you'll see the Seleucid chariots of Kleomenis charging in towards this Parthian elephant unit. Now something you're going to see here, I think you're going to find quite interesting. Okay, so here you can see the chariots of the Seleucids charging in there. It wouldn't surprise me if Aurelius sent his Britannia chariots in there as well. Right, pause the game for a second here. Okay, so you know, if chariots are near enemy troops, the enemy troops are frightened of chariots. But look at the elephants there. Look. If you notice there, normal enemy troops are frightened of chariots. You'll see in the writing. But look at the elephants. Look, they are not frightened of chariots. Look, if you look at the writing, look. So the fear factor of chariots isn't affecting the elephants. But if you look at the chariots, they are frightened of elephants. Can you see? If you look at the writing, frightened by elephants. So the elephants are not frightened of the chariots. There's no fear factor there. There's no morale being sapped from them. But the chariots are frightened. The charioteers are frightened of the elephants. So the elephants are sapping morale away from the chariots, but the chariots are not sapping morale away from the elephants there. And the elephants just get straight in there. Look. As I say, I just thought you might find that interesting, that all other units are frightened of chariots, but not elephants. And there you are, you can see all those chariots charging into those elephants now. Look. The thing is, there's so much going on in this battle at the same time. I'd like to watch the outcome of this, but I think there's things happening on other part of the battlefield as well. Okay then, so you can see there that the chariots there, the two Seleucid chariots and Britannia chariots have been routed there by the elephants. Okay, I think a couple of elephants have been brought down by the chariots, but as I say, the elephants against chariots there, you'll see that the elephants, as I say, no fear of the chariots at all, and they just got straight in there. Okay, so meanwhile over here, as I say, you can see that Lando now is attacking poor old Iraklis from that left flank. You can see that Lando's cavalry is locked and loaded, ready to charge him, and you can see there that you've got Scorpion King's army charging as well. So as I say, I did feel a bit guilty when I watched Iraklis getting hit here. There goes Iraklis' cavalry, bang, as he charged in there. I just thought this was a really tough battle for his first battle after years of not playing Rome Total War. You can see that SPQR cavalry smashing into Iraklis over on the other flank as well. Iraklis is taking his cavalry forward to try and relieve the pressure on that flank. There, like, and bang, as his cavalry charges in, but you can see Luke's bringing his fully upgraded Brutii cavalry into it as well, look, and bang, as they charge in there as well. And there you can see some more SPQR cavalry coming in to Iraklis. You can see some more Brutii cavalry coming into Iraklis' infantry, look, a bang, as that charges in there, and then the SPQR cavalry going in, look, and bang, as that charges in. Oh my gosh. So you can see poor old Iraklis' Julii infantry and cavalry getting smashed and crashed. There, look, he's got Scorpion King's infantry and cavalry going in there. He's got Lando's infantry and cavalry going in there. He's got the Brutii cavalry going in there, and now you can see that he's going to get Socius' Parthian cavalry going in there as well. Now you can see Greek Kleomenis here is moving his pikes over to try and help Iraklis there. Meanwhile here, I'm going to start moving my Spartans over there as well. But as I say, poor old Iraklis, I think he's holding quite well. I've kept some spear units there to try and neutralise those cavalry facing me. There you are, you got Kleomenis is cataphracts locked and loaded. But as I said, poor old Iraklis here, first battle in many years. Look how tough it is for him here. Getting smashed by all the enemy troops. There goes the Parthian cavalry going in there. Look, get ready for this. And bang! as they smash in there. Look at the impact and penetration there. But luckily Kleomenis is just arriving with his pikes. He should put his pikes down now. If I was him, there you are. He's put his pikes down there now to help try and neutralise that cavalry attack. He charged his cavalry in there. His cataphracts charged in there as well. But poor old Iraklis here got smashed, crashed there by all that enemy infantry and cavalry. And as I say, for him still to be holding there after that massive attack, I think is brilliant. Really good for him to be able to do that. But now Kleomenis has got to start getting his pikes involved in that part of the battle there. You can see enemy cavalry starting to move around our flank. Let's just pause the game for a second there. So there, Kleomenis is moving his pikes forward now to help Iraklis there. But just look at all the enemy infantry and cavalry ready to pour in. If you notice here now, I'm going to abandon my artillery now, and I'm going to move my Spartans over there as well to try and help Iraklis and Kleomenis there. I'm going to fire a few artillery shells into the enemy cavalry. Of course, because that artillery is so inaccurate, I couldn't really help Iraklis there because the fire pots might have landed on his army as well there. So that's the situation as it stands at the moment there. And as I say, it doesn't look very good for us, to be honest with you. I don't think there. Iraklis has lost a lot of his army there, a lot of his cavalry as well as a lot of his infantry. You can see our Britannia ally moving his head hurlers forward there as well. Okay, so here, what I shouldn't do here is shoot fire pots over the heads of my allies, okay? Now, of course, my instinct here is obviously to help my allies, and really what I'd like to do is shoot fire pots into the enemy infantry. But we know from our other battle videos that you would have watched that the fire pots are so inaccurate that a lot of my fire pots would drop onto my allies and kill my allies, let you see. So I can't use a fire pot, I can't shoot artillery at the enemy there because I kill a lot of my own allies. So it's a bit of a problem there. So I'm going to move my Spartans over there now to try and help over there. Here you can see a Parthian elephant moving in here towards Kleomenis as cataphracts there. You can see them moving in. Mind you, I should think though that they're probably tired there and they may well rout almost on impact on whatever they hit there. There you can see tired, distraught at enemy numbers, so their morale is going down as well. And they were routed on impact there of hitting those Seleucid cataphracts there. As I say, they were distraught by enemy numbers and tired, so their morale was extremely low. Right, so what I'm going to do with my fire pots, I'm going to aim at that enemy cavalry over there. Obviously, as I say, I'm not going to try anything over on the other side there because my fire pots will kill my allies there. I've lined my Spartans up there to try and protect our left flank there because I can see enemy cavalry and infantry moving around our left there to try and hit Kleomenis' Seleucids there round to the left flank there. So that's why I've lined up my Spartans there to try and protect the flank there. Let's say you can see Aurelius there bringing his Britannia chariots out there. Here comes a cavalry unit going to attack my artillery units there, and bang! The Scorpion King's taking out the Onager crews now, so my artillery will no longer be any good at all. But that's just the way that it goes sometimes. Here you'll see that Aurelius has charged his warlord chariots into cavalry here, but I think he's just going to be overwhelmed. Look at the amount of enemy cavalry. Remember, the enemy have got 38 cavalry units to our 19, so we've got half of their cavalry units there. And as I say, that could really make a difference, especially towards the end of the battle there. Okay, you can see me bringing my Spartans forward here to engage the enemy SBQR infantry that is coming round our flank. Okay, pause the game for a second here. Now I'm leaving those two Spartan units out there to try and neutralise any cavalry attack that might be trying to come in behind us there. Can you see there? That's quite a big area that those two Spartan units in open order are covering there to stop enemy maybe getting in behind us there. If those two units can stop that, that'd be good. Now that's all of Iraklis' infantry there. You can see it's all very battle damaged there, so you've moved from the front area to the rear area there, which was a good tactical move, leaving the long pikes of Kleomenis' Seleucids there to take on the enemy infantry advancing towards us on the front there. So a good tactical move there by Iraklis, moving his infantry to the rear rather than stay at the front there. Okay, so as I say, you can see my Spartans lining up now. Now what I like to do is take on that SPQR infantry with my Spartans. Whether the SPQR general would want to take on my Spartans, that might be another matter, but that's what I'd like to do, is take on the Spartans. You'll see the enemy infantry here are attacking the down pikes of Seleucid there, so those pikes are down, ready to receive infantry or cavalry attack there. Okay, so as I say there, you can see we've gone into a bit of a defensive mode here, and the moment you go into defensive mode, obviously you hand the initiative to the enemy. Okay, look at that big load of Brutii, fully upgraded cavalry of Luke's. Very dangerous there, and he's got other units dotted around the battlefield there. Looks like they've just taken out a large amount of Iraklis' cavalry there. As you can see, a lot of his cavalry dead there, and he hasn't got much cavalry left. As I say, my artillery has all been taken out now, so as I say, I think I was the only player to bring artillery on the battlefield there. I think the enemy cavalry look like they might want to charge in behind us here. But as I say, there's a general overview of the battle as it stands at the moment, and just look at the number of cavalry they've got round the battlefield here, which could, as I say, make a real difference here. And you'll see Lando is attacking these Seleucid pikes head on, which is unusual there, because it's very difficult for Roman troops to fight down the long pikes of Seleucid there to kill the man on the other end, and Lando will be losing a lot of infantry there trying to do that. Okay, if you notice here, I'm taking my Spartans over a little bit here to face that SPQR infantry. I thought that SPQR cavalry unit was just going to charge in there, and I thought, no, I don't think he will, and he didn't. He backed off. He doesn't want really to go against Spartans there head on. So as I say there, you can see a lot of enemy cavalry getting into position here, looking like they're getting ready to charge in us into us there, and there's enemy archers shooting into us all the time there. Just to let you know, you might not realise this, but they've got 16 archers to our 4. So not only have they got a massive cavalry advantage there, they've got a big archer advantage to us as well. 16 archers to our 4, and remember, they had 38 cavalry to our 19. Right, here you can see, as I say, Lando pushing his SPQR troops into the Seleucid pikemen there. You'll see Kleomenis moving forward slowly with his pikemen, driving the SPQR infantry back. He's doing a really good job there of holding the front line with the long pikes of Seleucid there. So really well done. You can see our Britannia ally there. He's got his infantry set there helping as well. But I think he lost a lot of his heavy chariots fighting those elephants earlier. But there you are. Just look at all that Brutii cavalry ready to charge into us there. I mean, as I say, with all that cavalry there, as I say, that could make a big difference, especially towards the end of the battle. Okay, you'll see here that I've decided to bring those couple of Spartan units that I was holding at the back. I'm moving them in now to help my main army there. But anyway, you can see cavalry units of the enemy smashing in there. Just look how they've got us surrounded, really, with cavalry while they're attacking with infantry. This looks like a big cavalry hit coming in here, and our Britannia ally, look, and bang, as that cavalry smashes in there. Oh my god, that's good news for us. Looks like we killed the Parthian general, but just look at all that cavalry charging there. Bang, smash, and here comes some more SPQR cavalry, and bang, as that charges in there as well. So that's bad news for us. All of Kleomenis' Seleucid cataphracts have just been taken out. All of his units, his cavalry now, have been routed and taken out by a combination of all the enemy cavalry charging in there. So we now have got no cavalry units left at all. That's it now. All the cavalry taken out. As I say, our Britannia ally's been doing really well with the infantry and the head hurlers there, throwing loads of heads into enemy troops there. So as I say, but here you can see I want to engage those SPQR infantry, but I must be tactically aware and strategically aware of something that could be a problem in regard of that. Can you see all this cavalry there getting ready to charge in, locked and loaded, ready to charge into our defensive formation there? But you'll notice that Cleo there has turned his pikes to face that cavalry attack there, the long pikes of Seleucid. There's his general They're facing the cavalry if they do attempt to charge in. Okay, so and I don't think they'll want anything to do with the long pikes of Seleucid, that cavalry. But as say, you can see there, a lot of our troops been routed in the background there. All that cavalry in behind us there. Wouldn't suppose if they charged into the back of the Seleucid pikemen there, which is what Socius is doing. But luckily Cleo spotted that and turned his pikes to face the threat of that cavalry. And there, that cavalry, one of the cavalry units, a couple of them have been routed now. So that's good news for us. Okay, so there you can see now that I think Kleomenis is doing a great job with his Seleucid pikemen there. Always good at micromanagement with the pikes and spears, the Greek clan was, and you can see that Kleomenis is no exception. Right, okay, so what the enemy have done, if you notice, they moved their SBQR infantry away, trying to attract my Greek cities over there. And of course this cavalry is locked and loaded and waiting for me to attack that SBQR infantry so they can smash into the flank of my engaged Spartans. So if you notice there, I was very battlefield aware. Okay, they know that I want to attack that SBQR infantry. That's why they used it as bait, so that hopefully I would try and charge into them where they can hit me with their cavalry. So don't forget what we talk about in our battle videos, battlefield awareness. Always watch out for that. It's a very important part of a team winning a battle. Okay, so here you can see Kleomenis moving his men forward. By the looks of it, I think most of Lando's SBQR infantry has been taken out. Right, here you'll see my Spartans have finally engaged Scorpion King's SBQR infantry there, which is just what I wanted to do now. Okay, pause again for a second there. So I'm engaged there, but you can see enemy cavalry are already starting to mass in behind me here because they want to smash into the rear of my engaged Spartans. But if you notice there, Iraklis with his Julio army has spotted that and is moving his infantry over to block any cavalry attack into the rear of my Spartans. Once again, showing great teamwork here. As I say, I know I've said this a couple of times, but Iraklis hasn't played Rome Total War for many, many years. So throwing him into this battle was literally throwing him into the deep end, I think, here. And look at that Brutii cavalry charging in to the Britannia infantry there. Look, and bang, as they charge in there. But that Britannia infantry, as I say, those chosen swordsmen with good upgrades on, you'd be surprised on how tough they are. And there you are, you can see Iraklis moving some of his Julio troops back to help his Britannia ally there. Oh, that's bad news for us. Our Seleucid general has just been taken out. So Kleomenis just lost his general there. So he's lost the morale bonus that that general would have been given. Here you can see that general unit's being hit by SBQR cavalry and Parthian cavalry as well. So as I say, there's a lot going on all over the battlefield at the same time here, with this fast moving cavalry charging in from all different directions, smashing into us there. When I say fast-moving cavalry, I mean fast-moving in comparison to our infantry. As I say, I think Lando might only have a few battle-damaged infantry units left because he was really trying to charge into the Seleucid pikemen there, and I think he lost a lot. There you are, you can see there that Luke's Brutii cavalry is ready to smash into the back of my Spartans if he gets a chance. There, you can see there the enemy trying to make the most of their massive cavalry advantage there by putting their cavalry in different positions there. Now, here, this cavalry is going to charge in. Look, get ready for this. And bang! As he smashes in there. Oh, good news for us. We've just taken out the Brutii general. So that's good. No more morale from the Brutii general there. So that's really good. And that's what Iraklis and our and Aurelius has done there with their Britannia and Julii armies there. Really good job. There you are. So they've killed the Brutii general of Luke's. So as I say, no morale bonus from him anymore. So that was a good joint defence there by Iraklis with his Julii army and Aurelius with his Britannia infantry there. Really well done to them. But there's some more cavalry charging in that. Bang into the back of one of my engaged Spartan units there. It wouldn't surprise me if that routed that Spartan unit there. You can see some more cavalry coming in here, but you can see Iraklis and Aurelius there has teamed up. Their armies have teamed up. I've put a Spartan unit there as well, try and strengthen the line there, because I can see a lot of cavalry out there ready to charge into them. But anyway, there's a general situation of the battle as it stands at the moment there. You can see my Spartans there. There's one unit's been routed already. I've got another unit there fighting there. And over here, look, you'll see that I've put a unit at the rear of my Spartans there to try and neutralise any cavalry attack that might well try and smash into the back of my engaged Spartans. But as I say, you can see Aurelius' Britannia army there, and you can see there's a Seleucid unit there of Kleomenis, and you've got Iraklis' Julia army there in behind my Spartans, trying to protect my Spartans from being hit in the rear by cavalry. Great bit of teamwork there by the team, all the team that playing their part here. But as I say, just looking at the enemy cavalry running around the battlefield here, that's Julia, that's Iraklis' general's just been taken out. That's bad news for us. Just look at all that cavalry and infantry charging in now to poor Iraklis. Is battered and battle damaged infantry there. Look at how he's just smashing in there. I think our Britannia allies lost some troops as well. Okay, so all of Iraklis' cavalry was taken out. Now most of his infantry have now been taken out. I think in fact Iraklis has got one unit left, and that's his Eagle unit. That's the only unit he's got left on the battlefield now. Everything else has been killed and routed. Okay, so as I say, this was a really tough battle to bring Iraklis into after not playing Rome Total War for many, many years there. I must say I did feel a bit guilty actually. But here you can see the SBQR troops pushing in on our Britannia ally here. You can see that group of Spartans is surrounded there by enemy troops. So what I need to do now, you can see there I'm being attacked by camels as well. They're cataphract camels, so I need to bring the other group of Spartans over there to link up with the group that's surrounded there. Strength in numbers there, you see. So if we can team up together there, we'll be able to be a lot better fighting force there. But look at those camels charging in there into my Spartans as well. They just charged in there, 2 units of them there. Just pause the game for a second there. So as I say, you can see the camels there charging in, and infantry charging into my Spartans there. So but as I say, I'm bringing the other group of Spartans over to link up with this group that's been surrounded there. As I say, strength in numbers. I'd like to take that SBQR general out between them. See that SBQR general of Scorpion Kings there in between my 2 groups of Spartans there. I'd love to take the general out, take the morale bonus away from the enemy team there. That would be really good if I could do that. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second, take stock of what's happening here. So there's Iraklis' last infantry unit there, that Eagle unit, being assailed by loads of enemy SBQR infantry trying to take him out. Over here you'll see that, as I say, Kleomenis has been micromanaging and handling the Seleucid pike faction so well. I put a Spartan unit over there as well to try and help against the enemy SBQR infantry. But as I say, there's enemy cavalry coming in between us now. Our defensive formation really is not that good now. You can see enemy cavalry coming in from different angles and things like that. Over here you'll see that Aurelius has still got his fast moving missile chariots, his chariot archers there, which he's moving around hitting individual enemy targets there. So he's doing very good with those. But there goes that Brutii cavalry unit there. And here it wouldn't surprise me if these cavalry charged in there. Oh, that's good news. I think we've just taken out the SBQR general. But bang! Here, look at them trying to take out... Oh, that's my general. My general's just gone down as well. But look, they're trying to take out poor old Iraklis' last unit there. Look how well it's holding. And then that last cavalry unit smashes in there. And finally, that Eagle unit is broken there. So that's the last unit of Iraklis now. The rest of his army, all of his army now, has been completely taken out by the massive attack of the enemy troops there. So as I say, Kleomenis and myself there with our pike and spear units there doing the best we can, and Aurelius is moving his fast moving chariots around the battlefield, as I say, hitting individual enemy targets there. So as I say, we just routed that I think Scorpion King, that might be one of his last infantry units there we've routed. So now I need to up spears and run across to help my allies there. So you see I've up spears now, running across to try and help Kleomenis over there. But as I say, it was sad to see the last of Iraklis' units taken out there. So as I say, I'm going to try and link up with Cleo's pikes now. Okay. Now at this stage of the battle, okay, at this time of the battle, we're going to look to go into stage 2 of this battle, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, so we've just seen stage 1. This is going to be stage 2. So now you'll see that Cleo and myself, our infantry, are going to link up here. Okay, now what's the best thing for us to do here? Do you think that we should try and chase down enemy cavalry and infantry? What do you think we should do at this stage of the battle? Just look at all that enemy cavalry dotted around the battlefield there. They're probably going to take out, I think there's 1 unit of Britannia infantry left. They're probably going to take that out, but we are surrounded by enemy cavalry there. So do you think that we should start chasing that enemy cavalry down with our pike and spear units, bearing in mind that that cavalry can outrun us? Or do you think we should look at doing another tactic at this stage of the battle? Okay, so as I say, this is we're moving into stage 2 of the battle now. Here you'll see Luke here chasing down, trying to chase Aurelius's fast moving chariots, but he won't catch them because obviously the light missile chariots faster than heavy cavalry. So right, okay, so what should we, Kleomenis and myself, do here? Should we form up a defensive formation here? What a lot of people would say, should we box up? Okay, form a defensive box. Is that something that you would do if you were Cleo or myself here? And myself, do you think we should form up into a defensive formation here, or do you think we should just chase the enemy infantry and cavalry with our units there? Do you think that's something that you would do? I don't think that's something that Cleo and me would do. We won't want to start chasing these units down. There you are, because a fast-moving cavalry unit of Aurelius is there, that barbarian cavalry unit. Morale's not very good on them now, and they've just, wouldn't surprise me if they were just routed there. So morale's not very good with them, but as I say, the last thing that Cleo and myself want to do is start chasing enemy cavalry around the battlefield, because they'll just snipe off our units one at a time, just smash into the flank or the rear and then pull out the way. But as you can see here, can you see I'm leading the charge towards the enemy SPQR infantry here? We're going to try and, they expected us to go defensive there, and that, so we're just going to give them a bit of a shock there and show them that at this stage we're not prepared to go defensive, and we're moving towards the SPQR infantry. As I say, I think they were expecting us to box up there straight away, look. But now if we can just rout one of those infantry units, that would be quite handy. I think these enemy infantry units are tired. There you are, let's see, and routed. They were very tired, so their morale would have been low, their battle proficiency would be very low, where our team, I think, are just warmed up or even fresh. So that made a difference there. So as I say, they did expect us to box up, but we decided to attack there. But what we're going to do next, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, but you can see we haven't got, all our units are very battle damaged there. And as I say, it was good to rout this one SBQR infantry unit there. But as I say, they've got units left there. You can see Scorpion King still got an Eagle unit left there, so that will be giving morale to the enemy troops. Another infantry unit there, but it's their cavalry that could really make the difference to us here, if or when we decide to form up into a defensive box. I think the other two teammates, Iraklis and I think Aurelius, were saying maybe it's time to box up. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're getting to a defensive box now. But of course, the moment you decide to go into a defensive box, you hand all the initiative to the enemy. Okay, so now the enemy will see us going into a defensive box, so they can now get in behind us, all around us and things like that. And as I say, we hand them the initiative there. So as I say, we don't want to start chasing enemy units around the battlefield there. Kleomenis and myself are a little bit too kind of experienced for that, because that's what the enemy would like us to do. And then as we chase their units, they would just, as I say, snipe our units off one unit at a time with their cavalry, and before we could do anything about it, they'd ride off like so. Tactically and strategically, the best thing for us to do now is, as I say, get into a defensive formation and just hand the initiative to the enemy. So that's what we're going to do there. As I say, remember that pikes and spears are anti-cavalry. So anyway, you can see there's still got infantry there around the battlefield as well. So now we've got to try and get into a good defensive formation here, and be prepared to receive a large amounts of cavalry attacking us here. Okay, you'll see them as we start forming our box. You'll see the enemy start moving units around our defensive box, looking for chinks in the armor. Remember, whenever you form up a defensive box, very often there are chinks in that defensive formation that enemy troops will look to exploit. Okay, so we need to make sure we get a good tight formation here. But as I say, look, now that we decided to go defensive, we hand the complete initiative to the enemy. They just do whatever they want now, because they know we're forming up. They may as well go up to treble speed there as we're forming up our box. You don't want to be bored watching us form our box slowly there. But as I say, you can see the enemy moving around different directions. They'll be looking at different angles, different trajectories that they'll come in on. They'll be looking at trying to find the weakest part of that battle formation to hit from different angles and that. So, as I say, because they're very experienced, the people we're up against here. So that's a strange looking defensive box there. As I say, it got my spears down there ready to receive a cavalry attack if they want to charge in there. And you can see our Seleucid ally there is ready as well there. But you'll notice gradually that the enemy will start moving around this defensive box, as I say, looking for weak points, looking for where they want to hit. Okay, now straight away I can see a weak point in this defensive box if we don't do something about it there. And can you see that weak spot as well? But as I say, you'll see the enemy moving around our defensive box there, as I say, looking for chinks in the armor. I mean, look at that. That would be a perfect place for the cavalry to charge in there, wouldn't it? I mean, that's a massive chink in our armor. I better move my Spartans back there to close that doorway up, because that was an open invitation there. So can you see now how we're trying to how can I say this, optimize our defensive box there? Both Kleomenis and myself trying to optimize it the best we can, seeing all that cavalry surrounding us there. They've still got a couple of archer units shooting into us at the moment, but they are, make no mistake, studying this defensive box, as I say, evaluating it, and just to see where the most weakest part of that box would be. Now, it wouldn't surprise me. I notice they've got their infantry down this end, so it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to attack with infantry first. As I say, there's a close-up of our defensive formation there. I know we were thinking about moving in even tighter there, so that you know, we've got our pikes and spears really integrated together there, ready for the attack that is inevitably going to come in. Now, remember, what the enemy will be relying on is the shock of the cavalry hitting us. Don't forget, those are massive charge bonuses. They're all fully upgraded cavalry. The shock of the cavalry hitting us, the impact, the casualties they're going to cause, could cause a mass rout. Remember, if some of our units start to rout, the routing will be like wildfire. It'll go through all our units because they're so close together, almost touching each other there. Right, let's pause the game for a second here. So it looks to me, the way they position their infantry, they're going to come in on this part of our battle formation with infantry, and then maybe smash in from different angles with their cavalry. Okay, so it wouldn't surprise me to say if they hit that end of our battle formation with their infantry and then smashed in with their cavalry from different trajectory angles there. Okay, that's what, it wouldn't surprise me there. So if once you see the infantry go in, you'll know exactly where the impact's going to be. And make no mistake, they've studied our battle formation here and decided where they're going to hit. So as I say, we're just waiting now to receive massive cavalry hits. As I say, they're relying on the weight of their cavalry, the impact, the penetration of their cavalry to cause us to mass rout. How many veterans watching this have seen that happen on several occasions? Okay, over here you'll see that Aurelius is taking his fast-moving light chariot units around the battlefield, taking out individual enemy units there, doing very well there, taking these archer units out and any other units that that he can hit with his chariots there, trying to do the best he can for us there. But as I say, you can see the enemy there, locked and loaded, ready to charge their cavalry in there, looking for the mass rout. Okay, so as I say, guys, once you watch this, just watch and see if our units start to mass rout, and then you'll know then that that'll be the end of the game. As I say, because our units are touching each other there, if one mass routs, it could start off like wildfire. Right, there's their enemy infantry charging in there initially to pin and hold our units. Now watch their cavalry charge in there. Now don't forget, they're going to get a full cavalry charge bonus. Get ready for this, and bang! bang, as they charge in there. There's the rest of the SBQR cavalry, and bang, as they charge in as well. And then you've got the Brutii cavalry locked and loaded going in there, and bang, and there's some more cavalry as Luke's fully upgraded cavalry going in there, and bang, and he charges in there as well. Now look at that massive cavalry and infantry attack there on our battle formation. But still our units are managing to hold. I haven't seen, there's one of our units has routed there. And I'm waiting to turn some of my units inward there to help. Pause again for a second. Okay, so I believe that Luke has just admitted defeat there. Okay, so Luke has just admitted defeat. All his Brutii units will now obviously just rout there. And you can see, if you notice here, can you see that Aurelius is bringing one of his light chariot archers over here? But look at the enemy troops, look, frightened by chariots. Okay, so they are frightened by those light chariots of Aurelius. So that's taking morale away from the enemy troops there. Okay, so just having his chariots just in the vicinity there, and that is taking the morale away from enemy troops, making them more susceptible to routing. And if you notice now, you'll see that both myself and Kleomenis are moving out of defense mode into attack mode now, attacking the last of those enemy SBQR infantry there. So we managed to hold there from that massive attack of cavalry and infantry into us there. So very pleased with the way that our defensive box held. Okay, so pause again for a second here. So that's the entirety of our of Kleomenis and my army that is left. Of course, poor old Iraklis, all his army was routed and taken out, but that's all that Cleo and myself have got. And I think Aurelius has got one fast moving chariot archer unit left. Very spread out battlefield this. If we look over here, this is where the chariots were fighting the elephants, and we saw that the elephants were not scared of the chariots, but the chariots were frightened by the elephants there, which I thought was quite interesting. We move across here, we can see more chariot damage there. There you can see Brutii cavalry damage there as well, where the Brutii cavalry were fighting the chariots there. We move across here, look, you can see more dead. As I say, there's absolutely piles of dead as we get to the more intense part of the fighting here. Just look at all that cavalry. You can see lots of cavalry dead there. As you move across the battlefield here, as I say, you come over to this area here. Now look at the intensity of the fighting that was here just by the piles of dead. Just look at all the dead there. Oh my gosh, you can just see how intense the fighting was in this particular part of the battlefield. And as we move over here as well, just looking at the massive piles of dead, you can see the intensity here as well of where the most tough fighting of the battle was there. Very, very tough. You can see my red cloaked Spartans there. As I say, the dead always stick out on the snow there with their red cloaks there. And as you move across the battlefield here, as I say, you can just see how intense the fighting was. And then our final last stand over here, where we managed to hold against all their cavalry. Remember, as I said earlier, they had a 38 cavalry to our 19 advantage. They had double our cavalry there. So I think we've done quite well there. But remember, it's all experimental, these 40k no rules battles for all of us. So, it's all just experimental there. So, as I say, I think there's one SBQR unit left. Probably, I think it could be Scorpion King. There, yeah, a Scorpion King. He's got one last unit left there. And you can see that we're charging into him there. And bang, as we charge in there. There you are. You can see Seleucid just put his pikes down there. And you can see my Spartans fighting in there as well against that last unit, which we've just routed there. So I think that probably was the last of the enemy units there. And our team has just about managed to go on to win the battle there. So let's say we both, Kleomenis and myself, both got very, very battle damaged units there. Let's say Aurelius has just got one unit left. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. I thought everybody played really well there. And as you can see, as I said earlier, it would be a close victory there. So it was very close there. And the highest kills in the game goes to Luke Invictus, Luke unbeaten or undefeated there, which Invictus means, and he got the highest kills there with his 12 fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry and 8 well upgraded archers there. So an unusual 40k no rules army there, but interesting. Well done to Socius. Now he obviously didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he was very aggressive with his Parthian army there, a well upgraded Parthian army. Well done to Scorpion King, got some good kills with his SBQR army, and well done to Lando, got some good kills with his as well. So really well played, guys. Great battle there. Thought you all played really well. My kills, well, I always, like I've said in other battle videos, if you get less than 1,000 kills, I think you feel disappointed in these battles. As you can see, I got less than 1,000 there, but I think my Spartans did okay. Not too bad, just not great kills there. Well done to Aurelius. Now, if you notice there, I think he's got the 3rd highest kills in the game with Britannia. So really well done to Aurelius with his Britannia army there. I think that's, for a 40k no rules battle, I think Britannia did well. Well done to Iraklis. As I say, obviously he didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he was smashed and crashed there by 4 armies, I think, at one stage. There was units of 4 armies there smashing into his army there. And as I say, he hasn't played Rome Total War for many, many years. And he came on into this game, as a favour to me, asking if he'd like to come in for a battle. And as I say, I felt a bit guilty there for the pressure that he was put under and the massive attacks that he had to withstand. And I thought he held really well there for as long as he could against those massive attacks. So it was nice to see Iraklis back on the RTW battlefield there. And well done to Greek Kleomenis there. Look at the great kills that he got with his Seleucid. Did you notice the great way that he moved his troops around? The micromanagement was really good. A very diverse team. Look, we had Greek cities, Britannia, Rome and Seleucid. So that was our team. And the enemy had Rome, Parthia, Rome and Rome. Do you think that either team had a faction advantage there? Do you, before the game, would you have guessed which team might have won there, just looking at the different factions? So there you are. I hope you enjoyed this this great 40k no rules battle. And just to give you a bit of a heads up, Saturday's battle is going to be a fantastic one as well, which I hope you will enjoy. Spartan Commander, bye for now.